paste these links over here. As you guys are popping on, feel free to introduce yourselves, say where you're from, that kind of stuff. Just say hi. I'm currently sharing some of these things. I will get started in just a minute. Hi, Haley. All right, I will get started in just a minute, guys. This is actually my first one of these coaching webinars straight from Facebook Live, so that's pretty cool. It's totally different since I'm not actually going to be able to share my screen. Oh, you're from Tennessee? I'm going to Tennessee in 14 days. I'm going to be in Nashville. All right, let me paste this in here. Uh-oh, I don't think that's right. I swear I'm gonna get this. All right, I think this goes. All right. I hope I can like cut this part off. You've never been to Tennessee, or you live in Tennessee. You've never been to Nashville? That's kind of surprising. Although it's like me being from New York and people being like, oh, you haven't been to this place in New York? No, New York is crazy huge. What do you mean? All right, so like I said, this is going to be a little bit different than if any of you popping on. First off, say hi as you're coming on. I'm very, very, very excited and happy that you guys are spending your Wednesday night at 9 p.m. with me. I know this is like a prime time to just sit on your butt and do nothing and sit on the couch. So I really, really appreciate you guys taking the time to actually come on here. Tonight, I want to talk about something that I absolutely love. Hi, Adrian. All right, so like I said, thank you guys for coming on. First off, I wanted to kind of like talk a little bit about myself in case any of you don't know me, you don't know my backstory. But basically how this is gonna go tonight is I'm gonna tell you about myself. I'm gonna tell you about what I do and what I did to make this business work for me, because I've been coaching for about 3.5 years now. Hi, Nia. And there are so many, oh, thank you. There are so many people who have signed up to be a coach and they quit. And I want to tell you guys why I have never quit in this entire 3.5 years, and why I'm still here today, and why I still love it just as much as when I had started. All right, so a little backstory on me. I'm Angel. I am 28 years old, and I have 2 beautiful kids. I'm not biased or anything, but Jackson is 3.5, and Ellie will be 2 in August. How crazy is that? So, before I get into all the health stuff, just to give you a little background on me, I grew up, when I was growing up, I was very chubby, and that's like one of my most, it's my biggest pet peeve when somebody tells me like, oh, you're tiny. Well, I didn't always used to be tiny. I actually had a lot of trouble growing up with my self-image, with being self-conscious, because I was just chubby by nature, and I wasn't very active. I didn't want to eat healthy foods, and it's just how it was. I actually used to wear, I don't know if you guys remember these. Well, I guess they're probably still out there, but they're like kind of corset kind of things, but they, you know, like they had the lines in them to kind of keep you in. I used to wear those in like 5th grade. I was that self-conscious about my weight. It was growing up like that, having that mentality of just I wasn't good enough, I didn't look good enough. It was terrible. It was terrible to my psyche when I was little. And so I had a lot of really negative views on myself throughout my entire life. And I am a career college student. I graduated high school in 3 years. And then I went on to college, and I basically spent 10 years in and out of college, and I still don't have a degree. But in my first stint of college, so I went from being this really good kid to being released to the world. And I got into a lot of bad things. I started eating a shit ton of food. And all my college had for our meal plans was like Taco Bell and chicken fingers and pizza and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like I gained the freshman 30. It wasn't even the 15. It was like double that. And then just to top it off, I started drinking a lot. I got into drugs. I was just not healthy at all, like in any sense of the word. My mind was not healthy. My body was not healthy. My emotional health was not healthy. And all this time, I've been suffering from depression since I was like in elementary school. So all of these things fueled that, and it was terrible. So what ended up happening was, like I said, I was in and out of college. I kept dropping out because I just did not feel good about myself. I would go on crash diets. I would just not eat. And I started getting involved with, I started working out, but it was excessive. It was actually Dance Dance Revolution. That was my workout. And I would go crazy. I would do it all night long. There was one night that I did it and I lost 5 pounds in a night just from water weight. My mentality towards getting healthier was not good. Hi, Brandy. I was a wreck. I was a wreck, basically. And so when let's see here, I think it was about the time that I was like 20. And I was taking depression medications that made me feel like a walking zombie. It's like I couldn't feel any emotion. It wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. It was just a terrible feeling. I was still doing, drugs. I was still drinking a lot. And I remember waking up one morning and just being like, I can't do this anymore. And I said, just no more. I actually, throughout my depression medication, I started working on getting healthier. I actually started YouTubing a lot of different ways to get healthy, whether it was food related. I went in and out of a vegan diet. I tried raw foods. I did a juice cleanse. I did a lot, and it wasn't like I was trying to specifically do it to lose weight, although that was a side effect. It was because I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to get my mind and body healthy. But even throughout all of this, I was still drinking, and I didn't really have that huge grasp because I was still young, and I was still in party mode. But once I met my now ex-husband, if you guys couldn't figure out from my single stay-at-home mom, I fell very, very quickly in love in 2011 when I met him. And by the end of the year, this was in July actually, July of 2011 we met, and by December we were married, and 3 months later we had conceived my son Jackson. And I continued to stay relatively healthy, but it wasn't anything like my pregnancy with Ellie. My pregnancy with Ellie was like amazing. But once I had Jackson at 6 weeks postpartum, I wanted to get back into working out, but I was a huge gym rat. I forgot to mention that. I loved going to the gym. I didn't think that at-home workouts could do anything for me because I knew everything, obviously. once I had Jackson, all of a sudden that option of going to the gym was just out, because I was actually an Army wife. My now ex was in the military. We lived in Texas. And, oh, I'm from Buffalo. I didn't mention that. So I didn't have that option of having grandparents to watch the kid or anything like that. So it was basically I had to work out at home or I was not going to work out. And my best friend, she suggested that I try Insanity out. So I did. And I had pretty good results from it. And I was not drinking Shakeology at the time. But I decided to sign up as a coach just as a favor to her, because I was a military spouse, and military spouses in active duty military could actually sign up to coach for free. Just a little side note there. But I didn't really get involved with it for probably a good year. And then once my ex decided he was going to be leaving the Army, I all of a sudden realized that I was going to have to make coaching work for me, or I was going to have to go back to work. And at this time, I was actually pregnant with Ellie. So I was not about to leave my kids with somebody else. Like, no way in hell. I realized once I became a mom that was a huge part of what I wanted to do. But I had been working since I was 16 years old. If it was not one job, it was two. I loved being independent, and it killed me not to be able to contribute to my family's income. So I was like, you know what? This opportunity is here. It's in front of me. I have it. Why don't I actually do something about it? And I did. And here I am 3 years later, living on my own with my kids, and I am the sole income. I am paying my bills. So obviously I made it work. So there's my little background story. And now actually I wanted to show you guys this. This is, like I said, I don't have the ability to share my screen on this because it's on my phone, and of course my computer's doing something weird now. But I wanted to actually show you guys my transformation between 2010, which is when I kind of started getting healthy, to now, if my computer wants to work for me. There we go. All right, so let me try and do this here. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that because of my light. That is from 2010 to now. So it's a pretty significant physical change. All right, let me close this up so I don't screw anything up here. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about what I did to make coaching work for me, because coaching is something that a lot of people are talking about on social media. You probably see it all the time in your newsfeed. But the thing is, a lot of people sign up and then they quit. I never quit, and this is why. I'm going to give you guys the reasons, what I did, what I continue to do on an everyday basis, because I love coaching and I wanted to make it work for me, and I wanted to be this person and supply this life for myself and my family. All right, so first off, I changed my health. Obviously. I was so unhealthy in the past, and to have given myself the opportunity that I gave myself when I became a coach to get healthy physically, it was amazing. I mean, I just showed you guys my transformation picture. There is no say, I mean, like I said, I grew up very chubby, totally. And I put in the work every single day, and it's partially, I mean, for one, it's because it helps my mind, but two, it's because my body is my business. So I am not going to, I'm not going to tell people to do something that I'm going to not be doing myself. So there's that, but in the same respect, it was improving my health on more than a physical level. It was improving my health on a mental level, which I'll get into in a little bit. But a big, huge part of this was that I realized that I was worth more. I realized that I wanted to be more than a mom. And I know that's kind of taboo to say because I love being a mother, don't get me wrong, but I wanted more for myself. I wanted a living. I wanted to make my dreams come true so that I would be able to show my kids in the future that they could do the same thing, that they didn't have to put themselves aside. I knew that I could not pour from an empty cup, so I filled my cup, and this is where I am now. I realized that I needed to invest in myself, and I needed to invest in my business, and I do that by doing the programs. I do that by drinking Shakeology. I do that by doing training programs, and it's been so critical and so crucial to my progression in my business. So there's that, but one of the biggest pieces of this, actually I'm going to probably say that about all of these because these are such huge points about why this works for me, was the community and the friendship that I found in coaching. I had friends when I was younger, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I was involved in a lot of partying. I had a lot of negative friendships. I had a lot of friendships that were based around food, that were based around alcohol, that were based around drugs, that were based around negative mindsets. And I left that behind because I entered into this community and I built these friendships with people who wanted to see me succeed as much as I wanted to succeed. So they were the positive voices when I wanted to give up. They were the positive voices when I wanted to just say, screw this, I can't do this anymore. It's hard, because it is hard. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not one of those coaches that is going to be like, oh, you can sign up to coach and it's going to be all good. No, you have to put in the work for it. And you have to have that strong community and those friendships that you build. You can't do this without other people. Yes, you are creating your own business, but you are creating your business alongside a lot of other amazing men and women. So, along with that goes the support and the accountability. So, anybody can go out there and buy a fitness program. Anybody can go out there and buy a supplement. Anybody can go out there and say that they started a business, but you don't have the support to back you up. You don't have the accountability too, which is what we offer as coaches to other people. The support and the accountability, it goes hand in hand with that community and friendship, because those things together, they help build you up when you feel like you're falling down. And believe me, you will feel like you're falling down. You feel like you're falling down on somewhat an everyday basis sometimes. There you're going to have these highs and you're going to have these lows, and that's what that community of support is for. You have to plug yourself into that. I plugged myself into that. When my coach, she offered one-on-one help, and I took it because I knew I needed that accountability from her. I knew I needed her to sit there and help me when I wanted to be serious about growing a business. And here I am today. One of the biggest things, and I really do mean it this time, is that I changed my mindset. I dived into personal development. And when I say personal development, I do mean self-help books, podcasts. I thought it was the biggest crock of shit when I first started. I refused to do it. And as a matter of fact, one of my turning points in becoming an amateur coach to I'm really going to do this coach was because I kept putting off calls with my coach. I would just not show up to them, and that was so rude of me because I was wasting her time, and she knew that too. But instead of telling me that, or instead of continuing to baby me, she told me, listen, you have to read this PD book within a week, or before. She said I had to read it before she would have another call with me. I talk with my hands a lot, apparently. She said I would have to read it before I would be able to get on a call with her. So what I did is I read it within a week, and in that week, one of the chapters in that book related to something happening in my life so much, and it pushed me to go to an event in which I met other real life coaches, and I want to say real life because like I said, I was in Texas. My coach was in Buffalo. My home team base was in Buffalo. So I didn't have that support right off the bat. Like I didn't have that one-on-one in-person support, which is a huge thing that I hear people worry about, is that they don't have somebody literally sitting right next to them and helping them. You don't need that. We are in a social media age, people. We have these, I'm talking to you right now. There are so many of you from Tennessee in here, and you're hearing me speak right now. And that is because, that just proves that you don't need to be physically in touch with somebody. But I'm losing myself here. So, like I said, that was the first time I read a personal development book, and that event that I went to and that personal development book, those two changed my mindset into believing that I did need to do this personal development. And let me tell you guys, personal development, out of everything else, that has changed my life the most. It has transformed me from the inside out completely. I can tell you with 100% certainty that I am not even close to being the same person I was 6 years ago, 5 years ago, even 4 years ago. I changed so much, and it's because I worked on myself from the inside. I worked on my mind. I worked on understanding that I needed to believe in myself, that I needed to stop listening to that mean girl, that inner critic, that voice inside that said I couldn't do something, because I could do it if I just told it to shut up. And this is something that I do on an everyday, I'm back, okay. This is something that I do on an everyday basis. So it's so incredibly crucial. I'm telling you guys, it is the biggest thing that has changed me. And it is the biggest thing that has changed my business, because when I wanted to give up my personal development, and I'm talking about giving up in more than one way. I'm talking about giving up from my business perspective, from my, my personal life was an absolute wreck. I just got divorced. That kind of shows you there. I realized that I was worth more, I wanted more, and that all came from personal development. And as of recent, I've gotten really, really into meditation, and that has helped me tremendously lately. If you guys haven't seen my video I did on the universe, you definitely have to check it out, because that talks all about that. But aside from this stuff, I took the bull by the horns. I was not going to wait for information to be handed to me. I went out and I looked for it. I went into YouTube, I went into Google, and I did my own training programs. I didn't wait for my coach to provide everything. Even though we do provide training, I didn't wait. I was proactive. I did things, and I made moves, and I tried, and I worked every single day. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not at all. You do have to put in the work. And that's what I did. And it has paid off so much. Every time I fell, which was plenty of times, I got back up. And that also relates back to that support, that community, those friendships that I got from coaching. And I can tell you, some of my best friends are coaches that don't even live around here. And it's because of those amazing relationships that I built. This is a relationship building business, yes, in a business perspective, but the relationships that I've built just for friendships is amazing. And I'm so grateful to coaching for that. So because I did all of these things, coaching worked for me. I went from making no money, and let me tell you, the Army does not pay well, especially to enlisted. And once my ex got out of the military, within a year or a year and a half of really trying in this business, I was matching his income. Like I said, I am the sole income in my household. I have not a cheap mortgage. I pay all of my bills, and it's because I built this up, and I built myself from the inside out. So just some of the things that I've earned because of coaching. Let's see here. I have earned I went to Nashville last year, which I'm actually going back to Nashville in 14 days. And I'm actually going to be doing another physique competition. I did one last year as well, so you guys will have to cheer me on for that. I earned a trip to Cancun, which I was not able to take because Ellie was too little. I earned a diamond retreat last year, but I also was not able to go on that because Ellie was too little. I earned a trip to LA in January, which I did go, and that was because I was one of the upcoming leaders in the business. I earned a trip to the Bahamas and Jamaica on a cruise just this past March. In April, I earned a trip to Miami, Florida for a diamond retreat, and like I said, I'm going back to Nashville this month, and I also earned a catamaran ride this year. I earned the catamaran ride last year. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm already have my entire trip paid for Punta Cana next year, which is something that all of you that are signing up because you're going to be really excited, you guys will be able to earn it too. That's in March of next year, I think. But what I'm trying to say here, I mean, like, I've earned trips, I've earned so many incentives. I mean, it's all because I put in the work and I do it on an everyday basis because I love what I do. So this, if you follow those things, this will work for you. If you have that drive, that passion, it will work for you. So just to tell you, like, a little bit about what our team does, we offer training. I actually have a new coach training starting on Monday. What I do for mine is I have a 7-day training in which you participate daily. I get you started, and then you go into a training academy that is also on Facebook. And I want to see you guys succeed. I want other women who want more out of life, who are actually going to put in the work. And that's what you guys can do in these training groups. We have all the tools available for you to be successful, and you have all the tools available because you have your mind, you have your computer, you have your cell phones, you have Google, you have YouTube, you have all of these different things, and then you have that community, that team. My team is Fit and Free, and we are a family. You have all of that stuff at your fingertips. And we also do weekly calls. I have weekly calls for my own personal team, and we also have weekly calls for my uplines team. So you guys are getting double dips on awesome training calls every single week. Hi Katie. All right, so you guys get all of this stuff available. It's totally possible for you to do this. So you're probably wondering what a coach actually does on an everyday basis. What a coach does is we run challenge groups. We get women and men connected to the tools, i.e. Shakeology and programs, and the community. That is the most important thing. And you guys have heard me say this millions of times already. The community of support is the biggest thing, and that's what the challenge group offers. It offers a private place for people to get connected and to push each other, to motivate each other. And that's what I provide. My challenge groups, I can tell you guys, they are insanely active to the point where I can't even keep up with them half the time. And that's because everybody is so excited to make changes in their lives. So in order to run these groups, obviously we need people to get into the groups. So I build relationships with people. I talk to them. I talk to them like people. I remember that I'm a human and they're a human, and that's not my end goal, is to sell them something. So many people worry that they can't do this because they're not a salesperson, or they can't do this because they don't know enough people. Well, that's bullshit, because I don't want you to be a salesperson. I want you to be somebody that wants to help other people from the inside out. I want you to be somebody who wants to make a change in your life and to help somebody else make a change in their lives. And if you don't know enough people, guess what? I didn't start out with a lot of people that wanted to do it either, but that's why it's a great social media based business. There are so many different social media platforms that you are connected to all of these different people that you have the ability to help, because everyone matters. That's something with Beachbody, is that every life matters. Everyone matters. And you are able to present them with an opportunity that can change their own lives, that can change their health. Do you guys even realize what that does for people? It changes their confidence. It changes their energy. It changes their love for themselves. And then it has a ripple effect on the rest of their lives. Their work performance increases. Their love for their family increases. And their family in general is so much better off because they have that woman or a man who is so excited about life and so excited about all these changes that it's just having a ripple effect of amazingness across the board. That is what you guys can offer to people. And that's why I think it's so crazy when people are scared to present the opportunity to other people, which is why I am never afraid to present the opportunity for you to become a coach and give this opportunity to other people. And so, like I said, we run challenge groups. I also run training groups, and you build a team. You help train that team to go out and do the same thing that you're doing. And by doing that, you're going to build your income, you're going to build your rank, and you're going to change your life, and you're going to change a lot of other lives. What's something is really cool is that Beachbody actually sends out a mid-year report, and I just got mine yesterday, I think, and it told me that I've changed just in in part of my business, I've changed 68 lives already, and that is amazing. Do you guys even realize how amazing that is? Do you even realize how amazing it is to actually get messages from people telling you, this is what has happened to my life because of you? It's fucking amazing. It makes you feel so good because you are making a difference. You are not just sitting behind a desk not doing anything. You are actually helping people. And you're changing their lives. I don't even know how to I'm screaming it because it's something that I'm so passionate about. And that's the kind of people that I want to be working with. I want other people who are just as passionate as I am about helping other people. I want to be working with women who want to change their lives, to change their circumstances, because I can tell you guys, I went from being freaking broke to living how I am now. Right now, I can tell you I'm not rolling in money or anything, but I am able to work from home. I'm with my children all day long, which drives me a little crazy sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But I am able to be here and be present in their lives, and I am able to work on a schedule that works for my life. And I'm able to do so and earn an income that pays my bills at the same time. It pays my bills. It gives me opportunities to travel. Hello, Wanderlust here. I didn't even wear the shirt for that, but that just worked. But seriously, this is such an amazing thing that has happened to my life, and I want to work with other women who want this. I want other people to want this just as bad as I do. I want you to change your life. I want to be here to help you change your life. So first off, how do you make money? That's kind of something that you need to know. So like I said, we get people in with challenge groups. We connect them to those challenge groups, and with that, they purchase things from us. They purchase programs, they purchase Shakeology, they purchase whatever supplements they need. And you get that as commission. So for commission, we actually get 25% commission on challenge packs. I believe it's a little bit more. We also get volume. So when you're building your team, if they are doing things, they are building up volume underneath you, which that equates to cycle bonuses. And I'm not going to get into huge logistics of this. I'm more than happy to get into this if you want to know more. But basically, that is where the majority of my income comes from, is because I help my team grow their businesses, which helps my income grow in itself. And if you guys do that for your teams, it just continues. It's like a ripple effect. It's just a ripple effect up, and that's what you can give to other people too. So you make money from commission, and you also make money from building your team, basically. And I want to say that it's such a small amount of money that you have to pay to start your own business. I took this course in college, one of my times in college, and it was a business class, and it was all about the startup costs for being an entrepreneur. Most businesses do not see a profit for 3+ years. With coaching, you can see a profit almost immediately. And that is if you go out there and help people, obviously. If you're just like going to sign up for the discount, which we get a 25% discount, you're obviously not going to see that return. But if you go out there and you're proactive and you do the things that you need to do on an everyday basis, it's going to happen for you. And I want to also say too, is that like I said when I first kind of started this is not a get rich quick thing. I actually have a pay graph that I could even show you guys, but I'm not going to because it's too much. I actually graphed my income over the past 3.5 years, and it shows you in 2013 it's like nothing, it's down here. The next year it goes up, next year it goes up, the next year it goes up, and it's because of that compound effect. You're building a business, you are getting your name out there, you're doing things, you're building a team, and with all of that, you're growing your income, and you become more confident in the way that you talk to people. I can tell you guys, if you would have told me 3 years ago that I would be talking to you live, I would have laughed at you, because I would have never have been this confident 3 years ago before I started coaching. My confidence has changed, it's skyrocketed. And it's not an ego thing, it's just that I believe in myself, and I believe in what I can do, and I believe that I can help other people. And that all comes from personal development. But you know, like, see these things that are like going back here? But really, it's like I'm saying, it's such a small startup cost, and it ranges from $140 all the way up to like, I think it's $295 is the most expensive one. But with that, you're actually getting your program, you're getting your Shakeology, you're getting your coaching fees waived. You are able to not only start a business, but you're able to start working on your own health at the same time. When you start, it's, you know, a lot of people worry, like, what if I'm not a fitness professional? What if I'm not at my optimal weight or size? Whatever, you are helping people along the way. And I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of people are going to relate to you if you are not the perfect size. And that's because most people are not the perfect size. So you are sharing your journey along the way, and you are going to inspire so many people along the way doing so. So like I said, you're getting those tools to help your own health, and you're getting those tools to build your business, because you're going to be signing on to a kick-ass team. My uplines team is an elite team. I'm telling you guys, I'm putting it out to the universe that my team will be an elite team this year, and I know that doesn't really mean that much to you guys, but it's a huge, huge, huge goal, and I believe in myself, and I believe in my team, and I know that we can do this, and that's where you guys come in too, because I really, really hope that you guys, you come in with this belief in yourself and in this business and what you can do. So how you join is you simply sign up to coach with the challenge pack. You start on your own health journey, you get started in the training groups, and you take the bull by the horns just like I did. You plug yourself into the challenge groups that I run. You plug yourself into the training groups. You do your personal development every day. You listen. You have to be teachable. So you have to listen to your coach. You know, I've been doing this for a while, but you also have to have your own mind. You have to know that you need to set yourself apart from other people, because you have to be you. I don't want you guys to sign up to coach and try to do everything exactly like I do, because we're not the same person. We don't relate to the same people. So if you were to come on and try to do everything exactly like me, it probably wouldn't work for you. And that took me a while to realize, because I tried to do everything like everybody else until I realized that I just had to be myself. I just had to put myself out there in every single way. I had to step outside of my comfort zone every day, which I still do, and it's changed my life. It's changed my life, and it can change your life if you let it. So really, is this for you? Because I'm going to be real here, and I'm going to tell you, coaching isn't for everybody. I don't, like, yes, you can sign up to coach for the discount. You can. You can sign up to coach just to refer some family and friends if they're interested. You can. But what I am talking about, the reason that I changed from a broke stay-at-home mom to a stay-at-home mom boss is because I became a business builder. I put in the work every single day. I treated this like a job because it is my job. This is my full-time job. I don't do anything else besides momming, and that requires a lot of wine, but that's besides the point. I'm telling you guys, you have to put in the work, and that's who I want to work with. I want people who are excited about this. I want you to be so excited about helping people, about changing lives, about changing your own life and your own circumstances, because I can tell you, there are so many people out there who would be in my position, newly divorced, 2 kids, and they would freak out. And it's not something, of course I had my moments, but it's not something that I had to worry about because I built this for myself. I did this, and you can do it too, but you have to put in the work, and you have to have that drive and that heart and that passion and that willingness to get back up every time you fall. And that's why you have to do your personal development. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to say it like a million times. You're going to hear me say it all the time if you follow me. But seriously, it is so, so, so important. And you have to really ask yourself, is this for you? Is this something that you want to put yourself into? Are you ready to make a change in your life that could significantly change the entire course of your life? Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you are listening to this, you're pumped up, you can't afford not to do this. I don't care if you don't have that $140. I didn't either. I put everything on a credit card because I believed in myself that I could do this, and guess what? I have become credit card debt free within a year of signing up to coach, maybe a little bit more, maybe a year of really coaching. So I charged everything, but I made it work for me. And so when people tell me that they can't afford to do this, you can't afford not to do this. Are you kidding me? Because this is going to change your life so significantly. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your circumstances. It's going to change your finances. It's going to change your family's life. It's going to change your health. Above all else, you guys have to work on your own health, mental, physical, boom, and emotional health. You have to work on everything, and you have to work on yourself through this entire process. And if you do that, like I said, you just can't afford not to do this because it will change your life so significantly that I was actually having a conversation with a friend today, and she's like, you're lucky that you built this empire, that you don't have to worry about going back into the workforce. And I'm like, you know what, that's seriously amazing to hear and to know that that's what I've done for myself. And I relayed what I did yesterday, which was I took my son to play camp. I spent 3 hours in a coffee shop working, dropped him off to his father, and then I came home. I went tanning in my backyard because the beach was closed, and then I showered and I went shopping. And I worked a little bit more after. That's the life that I have been building for myself because I have put in so much work in this process. So really, is this for you? Can you afford not to do this? Because seriously, it will change your life so dramatically if you let it, and if you put in the work, and if you have that heart and that drive. So that is basically what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, and I really, really, really am so happy that so many of you guys joined. That's great. If you have any questions, you can definitely post. This keeps doing this to me. You can post any questions that you have. If I'm not live when you ask them, you can feel free to message me, or you can just post them and I can answer them in the comments. If you are ready to make this change in your life, please, please, please reach out to me. Or if another coach invited you to this live video, please reach out to them and let them know that you are ready to make this change. And if you are ready, like I said, we have a new coach training starting on Monday. So it is perfect timing. We just had a new challenge group start on Monday, this past Monday. So you'll be able to get into that. So not only are you going to be working on your business, you're going to be working on your fitness. So it's such an opportune time to come in and do this. And you will have so many fires ignited because all of us coaches are going to our National Coach Conference in Nashville in 2 weeks. Like I said, you guys are going to have to cheer me on for my competition. So you can bet your ass that I am going to come back with a huge fire lit under mine, and I am going to spread that shit like wildfire to my team. So I'm really, really excited that you guys all joined me tonight. Thank you so, so, so much. Once again, if you have any questions, you can post them, you can message me. If you're ready to get started, please, please message me. And if you know somebody that you feel like this opportunity would be good for them, please feel free to like this, comment, share it, and just spread the health, spread the knowledge about this, because it's such an amazing thing that we can do. All right, so that's it for tonight. If you haven't already done it, like my page, follow for my live notifications so you get a notification every time I go live. And I thank you guys once again for joining me. All right, bye.